Hello, my name is Edgar Roberts, and I'll be talking about managing teams. It's Chapter 10 in the Principles of Management book. The definition of work team is a small group of people with complementary skills who hold each other accountable for pursuing the same purpose, working to achieve the same goals, and improving interdependent work processes. What interests me? My job requires work teams where I work. Um, and also I think by having teams, a business can be a lot more successful, obviously, depending on what kind of business it is, but I think teamwork is an important thing, and I like learning about the characteristics of teams, especially being that I'm in a team, a work team, and also like learning about how to enhance team effectiveness. And also, I think it's likely that I might be a manager of work teams someday. So that is obviously why it interests me. What are the advantages of using teams? The increase of customer satisfaction, and this can be done by creating work teams that are trained to meet the needs of customers. So it'll increase customer satisfaction, and then improvement of product and service quality. With this, teams take all the responsibility for the quality of what they produce and sell, which causes an improvement there. And then it leads to increased job satisfaction. Unlike traditional work, work teams allow for a chance of improving the skills. And one way of doing this is through cross-training, which is training team members how to do all the work that the other members do, so that everybody will know how to do the same job as everyone else. And then also with teams, it causes there to be better solutions in the business, instead of just an individual. You have groups and teams that work together, and you have better solutions. And then also a diversity of skills. Obviously, with many members in a team, you have diversity of different skills. So those are the advantages. The disadvantages of using teams is there's initially a higher turnover. A lot of people don't like being part of a team. They may not like the responsibility of learning what's required to be in a team. They may be more independent, so it causes there to be a higher turnover because a lot of people just don't like it. And then social loafing. This is when workers don't want to share do their share of the work, because they take advantage of letting the other members do the work. And then and group decision making, like groupthink. This happens in teams, when in a decision making process, they're scared to disagree with other members, which leads to unproductivity. And then also minority domination. This is where one or two people just dominate the discussion. When and where to use teams. You want to use teams when there's a good reason and a purpose to use the teams, because if you don't have a good reason or purpose, teams are more likely to not be as successful, but they will be more successful if they know why they exist. And it should be for a good reason, not just because it's popular. And then also, when jobs can't be done single-handedly. So some jobs can't be done unless the teams work together. So that's another reason why you would want to use teams. And then also, when the rewards can be provided, you have to have the right types of rewards, or they just won't work. With the different kinds of teams, you have autonomy teams. There's the traditional work groups where two or more people work together to try to accomplish a goal. Then you have employee involvement teams, and these are teams that make suggestions or give advice about certain issues. And then you have semi-autonomous groups, and they have the authority to make decisions that are related to the bigger major task, and to the task that produces a service or product. And then self-managing teams. This is a even higher autonomy where these are teams that manage all the major tasks of producing a service or product. And then with self-designing teams, um, they control the task, and they also control the team design and team membership and the work tasks. And then with some other types of teams, you have special teams. One is a cross-functional team, and these are teams that have employees from different functions of the business. And then you have virtual teams, which are teams that use telecommunication and information technologies um, to achieve the task. And the team members are usually from just dispersed geographically to different geographical areas. And then also with project teams, these are teams that are created for doing a one-time task with a limited amount of time to do it. The characteristics of work teams, team norms. Over time, teams will start to develop norms, which is a standard that regulate team behavior that's been informally agreed upon. And then in cohesiveness, this is the amount that the team members are attracted to each other and are motivated to stay in a team and work with each other. And with team size, teams that are too small usually don't work too well, and teams that are too large don't work as well either. So trying to find that right medium. The right size for most teams seems to be around 6 to 9 people, according to the chapter in the book. And then with team conflict is definitely sure to happen in teams, but teams can still get along and disagree. They just need to learn how to do it. To learn how to have a good fight. And then with the stages of team development, there's 4 stages. The first one is forming, and this is when they meet and form an initial impression, and maybe establish a team norm. And then storming, this is when they have conflict and disagreements. And norming is when they settle on the specialized roles, group cohesion, positive norms start to develop. And then for forming, this is when the team has come to maturity and their performance is improving and improves. Goal setting for teams. With goal setting, you want to use SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And also, you want to use specific goals. If the team doesn't have specific goals, the members might miss the goal or start heading off in the wrong direction, pursuing the wrong kind of goals. Use challenging team goals, and this affects how hard the team members work, and it reduces social loafing. Use stretch goals. There are 4 things that need to happen in stretch goals. Stretch goals are really tough goals that workers don't know how to reach. And the first one is high degree of autonomy, which is for the control of how they feel, control over how they feel. And then empowered with control resources, such as budgets, workspaces, whatever is needed. And then also structural accommodation, which is the ability to change structures, policies, and practices to meet the stretch goals. And bureaucratic immunity, which is the ability to make changes without having to get approval from the managers. Selecting the right team members. What is a person's degree of individualism or collectivism? Are they going to be more independent and self-sufficient, or are they going to be loyal to the company or the team? What's their team level? Is the average level of experience? What is their average level of experience, ability, their character, personality, or any other factors on a team? And then the team diversity. How much team diversity does a team have? Do they have a diversity in experiences and personalities and abilities or any other factors? And then once you get the right people, you want to try to keep them together. In training teams, after you got the right people for the team, you want to train them, and you want to train them in interpersonal skills such as listening and communicating and asking the right questions and being able to give feedback to people about effective working relationships and having effective working relationships with other people. I also want to train them in decision-making skills to be able to make the right decisions without having someone tell them what to do, and problem-solving skills as well, being able to solve problems on their own, like cutting costs or, just things like that. And also training with conflict resolution skills, being able to teach them to learn how to work with their disagreements and working through problems and, with the different, manage with the different differences of opinion and stuff, just to be able to teach them how to resolve conflict. And also, team members need technical training, especially if they're going to be being cross-trained to perform the different jobs on the team. Compensation and recognition. Compensating teams is a very, very difficult thing to do, to be able to compensate and recognize team members correctly. Only 37% of companies were satisfied with their team compensation plans. But one basic requirement for team compensation is that their level of reward should match level of performance. That is, the individual's level of reward should match their level of performance, not as a team, but as an individual. And these are 3 ways that employees can be compensated in team participation and accomplishments. One is through skill-based pay. And this is where programs pay for employees to learn additional knowledge and learn new skills and such. The other is gain sharing, and this is where, in these programs, this is where companies share their financial value of the performance gains, like cost savings and productivity increases, quality improvements for the workers, things like that. And then the last one is non-financial rewards, and this can be anything from giving coffee mugs or hats or vacations or anything like that, just to be able to recognize team members and award them, give them certificates, whatever, things like that. Overall, skill-based pay is the most effective for like self-managing and self-directing teams that have to perform harder, complex tasks. Here's some examples of work teams. You have Chick-fil-A. Other than the managers, you have the employees who are called team members, and they work as a team. And then in Chrysler, they work in teams to build the vehicles and such. And then Google, when they have all kinds of different work teams in their organization, such as business operations, corporate development, Google ideas, and energy and sustainability. All those are different teams that they have that is a part of Google. Here's some good quotes about teamwork. John C. Maxwell said, "Teamwork makes the dream work, but a vision becomes a nightmare when the leader has a big dream and a bad team." Matty Stepanek said, "Unity is strength. When there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved." Helen Keller said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." And Rensis Likert said, "The greater the loyalty of a group toward the group, the greater is the motivation among the members to achieve the goals of the group, and the greater the probability that the group will achieve its goals." And these are my sources. Thank you very much.